Hello Libra, Libra rising and Libra moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for October 2017. And just a quick reminder for all of you out there, remember when I do these monthly horoscopes, they're a cover of the big seasonal background energies of the month. I never put anything in these videos that only lasts for one day. In fact, this month, everything bare minimum, its influence goes on at the minimum 2 weeks. But we have some aspects that are going to last a year and longer. So it's important to keep that in mind. If you are looking for shorter term aspects and things like that, please look at your weekly horoscopes. The first half is exclusively astrology, so there's something in it for everybody. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below or go to integrativemysticism.com. So what is going on this month with your astrology? Well, we've got some leftover energies to address, alright? Mars and Venus are both in your 12th house, your past, your privacy, and your hidden zone, Virgo, for the first half of the month. And when Venus is in the 12th house, people are going to, again, be divulging opportunities, or bringing opportunities to divulge secrets to you. They're becoming more vulnerable to you during this time. Some of you may actually find out or entertain a romantic interest with a secret crush of yours, or with somebody that you have found out is a secret admirer. And this could actually turn out to be something good. Just be careful, because with Venus in the 12th house, you know, we may want to pay attention to how long or why something like this must go on being discreet. If you want to just keep it to yourselves because you enjoy it, that's fine, but it's important to make sure that everyone is still fair and square with each other, but there is a strong love aspect here nonetheless. Mars is in this part of your chart for the first 3 weeks of the month. And when Mars is in the 12th house, we're talking about getting closer, not just in a vulnerable way romantically, but getting more vulnerable and closer to people who are platonic connections, okay? The platonic connections being, you know, the guys, the girls, you know, just people who are just our friends, and allowing our circle to actually become our inner circle. We're pulling people into our, you know, into our personal space, into, you know, into our I guess you could say, our home base, and allowing people to see us for who we really are. Mars in the 12th house can be wonderful as well, especially for those of you who are interested in trying to monetize or debut or get attention to a special private project or a personal goal that you've kept out of the public eye. And there may be some kind of incentive or impetus given to you this month to finally bring that out into the light of day. We've also got Mercury in your sign for the first week and a half of the month. Sorry, 2.5 weeks. First 2.5 weeks of the month. And when Mercury's in your sign, it's the opportunity to speed up anything that is just taking too damn long. You know, when we think about Mercury, I always say it's the shot of espresso, you know, of the zodiac. Whatever it's doing, it tends to do very, very quickly. When it's in our sign, it's time to look and see what is dragging on, what is dragging its heels, what is taking too long to actually finish, wrap up, complete, or even get started. With Mercury in your sign, you have the opportunity to go and get something going faster. Whatever initiatives you put forward in the first 2.5 weeks of this month are going to actually be taking off quickly. We're going to get quicker responses, we're going to get quicker implementation. And so it's important to pay attention to where it does behoove you to be the one to make the first move. On the 5th of the month, we do have a full moon in Aries in your 7th house of partnerships. That's your closest one-on-one relationships. That's your boyfriend, girlfriend, BFF, business partner, husband, wife, roommate, all the people you spend all your closest one-on-one time with. And a full moon in the 7th house is kind of like a check. Okay, it's a check of the relationship. It's a check-in. And what it tends to do is we tend to see there could be a test that comes with this full moon to kind of prove this check of the relationship or this connection to us. Sometimes it raises the roof a little bit and it brings in a fight, it brings some aggressive energy, but it could be a good thing. It could be something that we're clearing away, a dark cloud looming over the relationship or over the partnership or over the friendship that really does need to dissipate. But the reason it's considered a check or a test is that, you know, it's really a test of the individuals in the relationship. Can people handle the confrontation of that? You know, can people handle, you know, an uncomfortable situation that's supposed to actually be, it's like we're being uncomfortable for a minute so we can be comfortable for much longer. Some people, you know, it is a check though. It is a check. This could be clearing away an obstacle for you and a partner in a wonderful, wonderful way, but be careful during this time. A lot of people have a tendency to go a little black and white with a full moon in the 7th house. You know, some people can't do uncomfortable for the greater good at the same time. Their brains just, they need it black and white, so be careful. It may be tough with a roommate or a boyfriend, girlfriend, or whoever, you know, during this time between the 5th and the 19th. But those who accept the test usually do pass it. It's those who don't accept the test that have the problem. On the 10th of the month, we've got Jupiter, planet of wealth and riches and luck and expansion energy, moving out of your sign and into Scorpio, into your earned income, employment, and finance area. And this is basically going to be here for a year and some change. Now, of course, never forget to check your rising and ascendant sign. Some people just ignore whenever I say that. However, the solar chart, it's still very relevant in this case, because this could be actually aspecting maybe the ruler of your natal 2nd house or what have you, but it helps to get that clarity there. But with Jupiter in the 2nd house, what's going to be going on is that we have an expansion and a growth spurt occurring over the next year on your income. You know, whether it's an opportunity to take on a more lucrative job, possibly an opportunity to maybe even get more out of the job or the business that you own. If you're trying to expand your client base, your customer base, your sales, your portfolio, if you're trying to get bigger, I guess you could say a larger reach with the work that you do and the people that are influential on this business and how you influence them, Jupiter's going to be working this whole thing over the course of the next year again. Now, pay attention. Jupiter, however, can make us tend to be a bit extravagant, so we want to exercise a bit of temperance here, but enjoy. It's one of the best times. You know, it happens only once every 12 years, so please, you know, take full advantage of this. Just make sure that you save more than you spend. On the 14th of the month, we've got Venus, planet of love and harmony, moving into your sign, where she will be for the duration of the month. And remember, when we have the planet of love and harmony and affection and attraction in our signs, we get the wild card blessing of this energy. So it being in us, we become an aspect of that Venus energy in a way. So we become that magnet for attention. We become that magnet for affection and for favors. Our only obligation is to make sure that we are visible and available to be seen during that. You're gonna notice people doing more favors for you, people working harder to try and win you over, people going out of their way to, you know, try and prove their love and their affection. You can use this for romance, absolutely. You could utilize this energy at work. You could utilize this energy in changing perhaps the way you feel about your physical appearance, anything that you want to change. Venus can also talk about luxury. You could be bringing more of an element of luxury and self-care in that sense, or self-pampering energy into your home or your family space. It's a gorgeous opportunity for a lot of Libra people to get an upgrade in their quality of life in all of these areas. On the 17th, we've got Mercury, planet of communications, pacts, and promises, moving into Scorpio, that earned income sector as well, where he will be through the duration of the month and even into November. And wherever Mercury goes, again, we've got speed-ups going on, things moving more quickly, dialogues happening faster, agreements and conclusions being made quicker, you know, arrangements working in your favor, but also, again, a faster response time. And this can also bring a host of very small but still sensibly paid opportunities and projects your way to supplement and bolster your income throughout the duration of this month. So I want you to have some fun playing around with that. On the 19th, we've got a new moon in your sign, And in the 2 weeks following, it's important to pay attention to a seed you want to plant that will actually make itself manifest, that will become something within 3 to 6 months. What are you trying to start? What's a big goal item that you want to actually, put into motion so that it will become yours, Libra? What do you want to do with that? Do you want to have a new place to live? Are you, looking for a new home? Are you looking to perhaps conceive a child? Are you looking for a new relationship? Are you trying to get into a school of your choice? Are you trying to initiate an opportunity to travel? Whatever you're trying to actually put on the table needs to be put on the table in some fashion in the 2 weeks following your birthday new moon, but you do have the support of making that energy happen. On the 22nd, we've got Mars, planet of action, energy, and conviction, moving into your first house. Remember, Mars is also the warrior. It's a planet of war, it can be a planet of competition and conflict, but it's all of these other things wrapped into one. And when Mars is in your sign, yes, we get those, again, the wild card blessings of Mars. We get all of that going into our disposition and how we bring that out into the rest of the world. And where we have opportunities now to start championing important causes where we are actually meant to be putting ourselves out there again. But with Mars, you've also got support rallying behind you. Alright, with Venus and Mars together in your sign, this can really garner a certain, a large amount of fame, a large following behind you. But be careful with Mars in your sign as well. Because Mars in the first and Mars in the third, I've kind of noticed, people can accidentally become seen as really, really aggressive and draconian when they really are just trying to be assertive. And so be careful about going too far, because with Venus and Mars in your sign at the end of this month and even going well into November, we have an opportunity to do a lot of good, but we don't want to come off so aggressive that we accidentally turn our following into or not turn them against us, but make them ambivalent about us. Sometimes it can get a little personal with Mars in the first house, let me tell you. Mars, however, can also be really good for those of you that are looking to shake things up, or perhaps challenge something that is standing against you, whether it's a policy, an arrangement, a certain type of family relationship, anything where there's an obstacle in your way to overcome, to clear, and remove. Mars, after the 22nd and going well into November again, will be there to help you. Finally, we've got this on October 23rd, the Sun moving into Scorpio, your second house, that earned income sector, but it also talks about your values. Alright, so we're talking about, yes, getting more money. We're, yes, talking about getting more out of the work that we're doing, getting more out of our employment situation or a new employment situation. But with the Sun going into the area of values, these are the values that you have and that you live for. And there could be a focus on healing and on clearing some misconceptions about the values that you have. When the Sun goes through the earned income area and the value area, a lot of people can come out of it being like, I was all about that thing because it was familiar, but it's not me. Our values do go through a bit of a shift, but in a good way. We may be changing our values to update with, life experience. We may be also challenging certain values that maybe in our family or, our immediate community that don't make any sense. They're just sort of an arbitrary cultural agreement. Careful how you make the waves, but don't be afraid to make the waves. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.